Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Ashish Sahejpal, Assistant Professor from University Business School, Punjab University, Regional Center, Ludhiana. Today we are going to discuss about the module Supply Chain Management under the paper Management Information System. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the fundamentals of supply chain management, understand the role and importance of supply chain management, understand the stages in the use of supply chain management, understand relationship between information system and supply chain management, and finally enable them to understand the concept of logistic information systems. A typical box of oatmeal cookies could spend us as much as 104 days getting from factory to supermarkets, struggling its way through an unbelievable maze of wholesalers, distributor, brokers, and retailers, each of which has a warehouse. The e-commerce opportunity lies in the fusing of each company's internal system to those of suppliers, partners, and customers. This fusion forces companies to integrate enterprise supply chain processes to improve manufacturing efficiency and distribution effectiveness. A supply chain is a network of organizations and business processes for procuring raw material, transforming this material into intermediate and finished product, distributing the finished product to customers. It links suppliers, manufacturing plants, distribution centers, retail outlets, and customer to supply goods and services from source through consumption. Materials, information, and payment flows through the supply chain in both directions as illustrated in the following figure. Goods starts out as raw material, move through the supply chain, and are transformed into intermediate products and finally into finished products. These are shipped to distribution center and from there to retailer and customers. Items that are returned flows in reverse direction from the buyer back to the seller. Let us further understand the role of supply chain management. Managers these days realize that getting products to customer faster than that the competitor will improve a company's competitive position. There's a substantial profit advantage for the extra time you are in the market and your competitor is not. The ability to deliver a product faster can make or break a sale. Supply chain management has an important role to play in moving goods more quickly to their destination. Because supply chain management encompasses all processes involved in producing and delivering a product to the customer. It offers the opportunity to identify bottlenecks that can slow down activities along the entire supply chain. The following diagrams basically highlights the 5 major supply chain drivers. The very first is the production. It talks about what, how, and when to produce. The second is that of inventory, how much to make and how much to store. The third driver is the location, where best to do what activities. Whereas the fourth driver is transportation, how and when to move. And the very fifth driver of supply chain is the information, that is the best for making the decision. So largely this particular figure defines all these 5 drivers of supply chain. Effective market coverage: when a product is introduced in the market and advertised, the entire market in country and all the sale counter need to have the product where the customer can buy and take delivery. Any glitch in product not being available at the right time can result in the drop in customer interest and demand, which can be disastrous. Inventory control and inventory visibility. Inventory means value and is an asset to the company. It implies the finished goods in stock available for purchase. Every business has a standard for inventory turnover that is optimum for the business. Inventory turnaround refers to the number of times the inventory is sold and replaced over a period of 12 months. The health of an inventory turn relates to the health of the business. In a global scenario, the finished good inventory is held at many places or locations and distribution centers managed by third parties. A lot of inventory would also be in the pipeline in transportation, besides the inventory with distributors and retail stocking points. Since any loss of inventory anywhere in the supply chain would result in loss of value. Effective control of inventory and visibility of inventory gains importance as a key factor of supply chain management function. Global sources. Global sourcing. In a globalized business scenario, characterized by geographical spread markets, raw material procurement sources across the globe, and cheaper manufacturing and labor market being available in developing world, the business of meeting demand with the supply is constantly changing and evolving. Demand planning, forecasting, global procurement management are some of the enabling tools on which the global procurement strategies are built and managed. The availability of these sophisticated systems has further enabled companies to implement good and cost effective manufacturing practices like just in time, Kanban, VMI, etc. E commerce has further redefined the way business is carried on. Online purchase has impacted the way supply chains are organized and markets are driven. Customer behavior and preferences are changing as online marketing is establishing a one to one contact with the customer and can offer a personalized experience. The instant delivery of the information through internet elicit immediate response and action from the customer. The sale lead time is rapidly decreasing. The demanding customer, therefore, needs to be served immediately at the same speed. Therefore, information technology is one of the most important enabler of supply chain in complex modern world of global businesses. To remain competitive, companies must seek new solutions to improve supply chains management, load planning, route planning, and distribution network design. Companies face corporate challenges that impact supply chain management, such as re-engineering, globalization, and outsourcing. Let us now look upon the relationship between information system and supply chain management. Effective information management can help ensure that a firm meets the logistic needs of its customer. Logistic information system combine the hardware and software to manage, control, and measure logistic activities. These activities occur within specific firm as well as overall supply chain. Hardware includes computers, servers, internet technologies such as barcode, RIFD devices, and storage media. Software includes systems and application programs used for logistic and supply chain activity. The objective of a computer integrated logistic information system is to integrate, manage, and provide access to the information associated with the positive control of end-to-end freight movement to ensure satisfaction of customer commitments consistent with the desired level of resource allocation. Leveraging the power of technology and web-based connectivity, it is becoming more common for manufacturers to deal directly with customer, thus disintermediating the distributors and retailers who previously may have been in between. Various technical advances are leading to the development of significantly intelligent marketplaces, websites. The experience of both standalone and web based firms like Amazon.com, eBay.com, and those that extend their traditional businesses into web based capabilities has been the same. Building the infrastructure and managing processes need to move the actual order through the entire supply chain prove to be very challenging. Exchanges. These enhancements provide electronic opportunities for supply chain participants to buy and sell products and services that were needed. Exchange did not facilitate the coordination and collaboration between buyer and seller of supply chain services that would create the needed level of efficiency and effectiveness. The next is the trading communities. They are hubs of suppliers, customer, manufacturer, distributors, and wholesalers brought together with a common data interchange platform, that is the internet. These communities of companies form a web, thus replacing the traditional linear supply chain. Intelligent marketplaces. These form a logical extension of the traditional communities. These marketplaces, led by innovative software providers, consultancies, and service providers, are characterized by tools to optimize the entire network technology to equip participants with sophisticated tools, integration, collaboration, and seamless integration and flexibility. Trades, transactions, solutions shall consider operational flexibility components like equipment availability. Now we'll study the stages in the use of supply chain management. The above said figure illustrates trend in the use of supply chain management today as three possible stages in companies' implementation of supply chain management systems. In the first stage, a company concentrates on making improvements to its internal supply chain process and its external processes and relationship with suppliers and customers. Its e-commerce website and those of some of its trading partners provide access to online catalogs and uses supply chain information as they support limited online transaction. In the second stage, a company establishes supply chain management applications by using selected SCM software internally and externally via intranet and extranet links among suppliers, distributors, customers, and other trading partners. Companies concentrate on expanding business network of web-enabled supply chain management capable trading partners to increase operational efficiency and effectiveness in meeting their strategic business objectives. A company begins to develop and implement collaborative supply chain management applications using advanced supply chain management software, full service extranet link, and public private e-commerce exchanges. They strive to optimize the development and management of their supply chain in order to meet strategic customer value and business value goals. Let us try to highlight the logistic information system, what it means. A logistic information system is defined as an interacting structure of people, equipment, and procedures that together make relevant information available to the logistic manager for the purpose of planning, implementation, and control. Logistic information systems, subsystems. There are four principal subsystems or modules that constitutes the logistic information system: planning, execution, research and intelligence, and reports and output. Collectively, these provide timely and accurate information for the basic management function of planning, implementation, and control. The first, that is the planning system. Technologies that comprise the planning system, referred as decision support technologies, where the term decision support was defined as an interactive computer-based system that provides data and analytical models to help decision makers solve unstructured problems. Planning technologies relate to needs such as network design, demand planning, sourcing, production planning, and scheduling. The second is execution system. The technologies including in logistic information system, execution system are those that are responsible for the short-term day-to-day functioning of logistics system. Included are technologies that help manage activities in areas such as warehousing, transportation, trade, and inventory. Range of capabilities that effectively manage the customer order, responsible for initiation of supply chain activities. The third is research and intelligence system. The logistic manager must have information relating to three distinct environments: the macro or external, the internal firm environment, the micro environment. Apart from environmental scanning, the system should support undirected viewing, that is, journal exposure to information, and conditional viewing, direct exposure to information. The system shall support both informal search, which refers to unstructured and limited effort to find information, and formal search, which is more deliberate effort to find information on specific issues. Lastly, the reports and output system. The reporting engine shall communicate only with the message keys into the receiver values and responds directly to needs of the recipients. Various reports that are of business value are planning reports, operating reports, and control reports. Let us now consider the case of Walmart, that how they have successfully deployed the supply chain management. At Walmart, you witness one of history's greatest logistical and operational trumps. According to Supply Chain Digest, the retail giant stock product made in more than 70 countries and at a given time operates more than 11,000 stores in 27 countries around the world and manages an average of 32 billion US dollar in inventory. In its transmission from regional retailer to global powerhouse, the organization has become synonymous with the concept of successful supply chain management. Walmart supply chain innovation began with company removing a few of the chain's link. In 1980s, Walmart began working directly with manufacturers to cut costs and more effectively manage the supply chain under an initiative called vendor management inventory. Manufacturer became responsible for managing their products in Walmart warehouse. As a result, Walmart was able to expect close to 100% order fulfillment on merchandise. Strategic vendor partnership. Walmart embarked on strategic sourcing to find products at the best price from suppliers who are in a position to ensure they can meet demand. The company offered the vendor potential for long-term and high-volume purchases in exchange for the lowest possible prices. Furthermore, Walmart streamlined supply chain management by constructing communication and relationship network with suppliers to improve material flow with lower inventories. The network of global suppliers, warehouses, and retail stores has been described as behaving almost like a single firm. Cross-docking as inventory tactic. Cross-docking is a logistic practice that is the center piece of Walmart's strategy to replenish inventory efficiently. It means the direct transfer of product from inbound or outbound truck trailers without extra storage. By unloading items from an incoming semi-trailer truck or railroad car and loading these material directly into outbound trucks, trailers, or rail cars, and vice versa with no storage in between. Cross-docking keeps inventory and transportation costs down, reduce transportation time, and eliminates inefficiencies. Walmart's truck fleet of non-unionized drivers continuously deliver goods to distribution center located an average 130 miles from the store, where they are stored, repacked, and distributed without sitting in inventory. Goods will cross from one loading dock to another, usually in 24 hours or less. This strategy reduced Walmart's cost significantly and they pass those savings on to their customer with highly competitive pricing. Then we talk about intervention of technology, how it has helped them to adopt the best supply chain management practices. Walmart has the largest information technology infrastructure of any private company in the world. It implemented the first company wide use of universal product code, that is barcodes. The company then devised Retail Link, a mammoth database. Retail Link is connected to analysts who forecast suppliers' demand to the supplier network, which displays real time sale data from cash registers and to Walmart's distribution center. Walmart has used radio frequency identification tags, RFID, smart tags, read by a handheld scanner. It entered into the collaboration with P&G for maintaining the inventory in its stores and built an automated reordering system, which linked all computer between P&G factory through a satellite communication system. Walmart supply chain management strategy has provided the company with several sustainable competitive advantages, including lower product cost, reduced inventory carrying cost, improved in store variety and selection, and highly competitive pricing for the consumer. This strategy has helped Walmart become a dominant force in competitive global market. Let us take another example of McDonald's supply chain. A McDonald's burger is an outcome of a dedicated effort by farmers, suppliers, distribution center, and a firm promise. McDonald's contributes a great back-end process which enables one to enjoy the favorite burger fresh and hot, and for that the supply chain truly act as a backbone of the business. Before launching their first restaurant in 1996 in Mumbai, McDonald's had to develop a supply chain that matches its international standards. The choice was simple: to either import good products already aligned with the demanding McDonald's standards or to start building relationship with local vendors who would produce every ingredients right here in India. Today, McDonald's has a dedicated supply chain and sources 99% of its products from within the country. The company has strong backbone integration right up to the farm level. The supply chain begins at the grassroots level with the supplier receiving crop directly from the farmers. Crop then processed and dispatched to the distribution center in special multi-chamber temperature control trucks, which ensures that the quality of the supply is not compromised. Supply is stored in room with different temperature zones and finally dispatched to McDonald's restaurant based on specific demand. McDonald's expectation of cold, clean, and on-time delivery has played a very vital role in maintaining the integrity of the product throughout the entire cold chain. McDonald's changed the face of Indian supply chain system and logistics when it entered the market 16 years ago, having pioneered the use of cold storage or the cold chain management system at a time when supply chain infrastructure, quality food suppliers, and retail environment as a whole were seriously underdeveloped. But developing these area was a paramount important because it formed the foundation of the business. McDonald's is categorized by a limited menu but on time delivery. The aim is to cut down on operational wastages and maintain freshness and the nutrition value of raw and processed food product. This has improved procurement, warehousing, transportation, and retailing of perishable food products, all under controlled temperature. What has been the key role of information technology in development of McDonald's supply chain? McDonald's has introduced traceability system to record the movement of each ingredient that goes into making a burger at McDonald's. Products can be traced back to each step of the production and transportation process. Using traceability system, we can track the temperature and location of any product being supplied to a restaurant anywhere in India in real time and with complete accuracy. The system allows the company to identify where and when the temperature of the product rose outside of present parameters and take immediate preventive action. The supply chain is structured in such a way that restaurants are never out of stock. This translates to 100% availability of permanent menu and promotional items. As in most aspects of business, forecasting and planning, supply chain capacities and output requirements are undertaken well in advance in 5-year terms. Let us take into consideration yet another example. Maruti Suzuki is one of the most successful stories in supply chain management in Indian automobile market. Over the years, it has worked to convert obstacles into opportunities. The company has 246 local suppliers and 20 global ones. They all function in a seamless manner. The company strictly receives their supply orders the previous night in a 2-hour slot the next day, in achievement from the initial 30-day supply period. While setting up the plant, the government had approved of manufacturing only on condition of localization of component. The localization policy of Maruti Suzuki. Maruti used this by scouting for entrepreneurs and turning them into vendors, facilitating loans, licenses, technical know-how, and even location in a phased manner. The company had adopted the Japanese system just in time to achieve higher operational efficiencies and reduce inventory carrying cost. Maruti Suzuki has adopted the e-Nagare system of electronic flow, which has completely transformed its supplier chain. To achieve just-in-time material supplies, the company has given preference to locally based suppliers. Over 76 of the company's 246 suppliers are located within 100 kilometers of radius. They are strategically located. The suppliers of bulky components such as instrument panels, fuel tanks, bumpers, seats, etc., adjacent to the company's manufacturing facilities in the supplier's park. The aim to localize and keep the cost as low as possible has worked fruitful. The company has aimed at doing anything and everything legally possible to achieve the goal. Localization of suppliers and components has been an important part of Maruti Suzuki supply chain development over the past decade or more, not least to avoid exposure to currency shift and higher logistic cost. This process started with a redefinition of what local meant. This strategy has enabled the percent of capital lockup to be reduced in addition to the exposure to the foreign exchange fluctuation. The E-Nagari or the electronic flow system is a region, a sequence of production plan from the vendors to the shop floor, which now sits at a 2-hour cycle. Across Maruti's twin sparkling plants in Gurgaon and Manesar, multicolored bumpers arrive in mobile trolleys and components line up outside factory sheds feeding the assembly lines within the factory premises, and the inventory holds up in just 2 hours. So students, let's now summarize what we have learned in this module. Supply chain management is a cross-functional inter-enterprise system that integrates and automates the network of business processes and relationships between a company and its suppliers, customers, distributors, and other business partners. The goal of supply chain management is to help a company achieve responsiveness, optimize operations in meeting the demands of the customers, need of the suppliers. It enables to design, build, and sell products using a fast, efficient, and low-cost network of business partners, processes, and supply chain. Supply chain management is subdivided into supply chain planning application, demand and supply forecasting, supply chain execution, applications such as inventory management, logistics management, and warehouse management. Supply chain management continues to be of paramount importance to organization due to use of internet technology to enhance integration, collaboration with business partners to increase operational and business effectiveness. Thank you.